Hey YouTube, welcome back to Cassandra's Kitchen, where I eat to live and not live to eat. Today I'm going to be making some stuffed cabbage rolls. So if you're interested in learning how I make this delicious recipe, stay tuned and I'll show you. Alright guys, so this is a simple, easy recipe that's really delicious. All you do is take a head of cabbage, which I have my cabbage. You want to make sure you get a good leafy head. And I've actually already kind of pulled some of the leaves off of my cabbage. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to steam these down a little bit just to make it easy for me to roll my mixture in. And I'm going to make some quinoa using just the Tri Color Quinoa that I use. And I'm going to just, with my quinoa dish, I like to doctor everything up and make it kind of extra fancy. So I'm going to be putting some sun-dried tomatoes. I'm going to be using the California sun-dried tomatoes. Guys, these have so much flavor. It just changes any dish. It just makes it pop with flavor. Good. So these are delicious. I'm going to use those. I'm going to be using some portobello mushrooms, some peppers. You guys know I love my peppers. And some onions, a little bit of garlic. This is all going to go in my quinoa. And then we're going to do a Bolognese sauce for our cabbage rolls. And then on the side, and we're going to have rice as well. So I got a rice going in my rice cooker. I just did a tri-blend wild rice. And I have that going in my rice cooker just with some seasonings in there just to season that as it's cooking. And then on the side, we're going to be using some of the pure Farmland. I'm going to use these just as a side. These are optional. It's not required for this actual dish. But if you want a little something on the side, my husband would love to have a little meat on the side. So these are our plant-based meatballs. It's the Italian seasons. And so these are really good. They're by pure Farmland. So you can get these at your Sam's Club, your Target, and you can get them at Sprouts or Whole Foods. So that's where I got these at Sam's Club, the Italian. I don't know if they sell the regular one, but they sell two different ones. But these I got at Sam's. So you can get those. And like I said, my quinoa. So what I'm going to do is first off is just to get started, I'm going to go ahead and kind of get these in the water. Because what we want to do, we want to make sure these are tender enough to roll. If not, it's going to be hard to roll in. So I got my water boiling over here. And all I'm going to do, and like I said, you want to try to get a real good leafy cabbage. So I've washed my cabbage. I'm going to get that down in the water and just let this boil for a couple of seconds. Maybe a minute or so. Just get those down in there and let those boil. And then once those are done, we can set those aside. And then we'll go ahead and get our mixture going for our quinoa. But I want to have these down in here just to have these pretty much ready. Because they're going to be hot and I want them to cool before I start trying to roll with them. So it doesn't take long at all. I just want to show you how quick and easy this is. So just have something on the side to catch them in. And what I'm going to do is just get a couple paper towels here, put it on a plate. And you can see how quick this is. You don't want them too. So you see now I can fold this. That's all we need to do. Because it's going to actually go into the oven as well. We just want to make it where we can fold it. So we're just going to get those tossed for a couple of seconds. Okay. And I'll finish doing these. I just wanted to show you how to do your leaves so that way they're manageable. And so what we're going to do next is get our quinoa started because we already have our rice going. And you season your rice however you want to season your rice, but I would recommend if you want a good consistency with the rice and the quinoa, just put those together. But what we're going to do, we're going to go over here to the stove, get this all down, and we'll get this cooking. I'll show you how I do my quinoa. All right, so here we are. I'm going to go ahead and put in my veggies here. I got a little bit of grapeseed oil going down in my pot. I'm going to get in my garlic, my onions, my peppers, my mushrooms. Y'all, these sun-dried tomatoes is what it is. That makes the quinoa, I don't know, it just turns any dish into amazing to me. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just kind of saute these down just a little bit. I like to get these sauteed before I put my quinoa in, because then and season it really well, because then once my quinoa gets in here, I'll let that go to a good boil, which is very important to bring it to a good boil, and then let it simmer, because you don't want it wet and loose. You want it to be kind of thick. So that's that. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and start seasoning my vegetables. Y'all know me. I love my spike. It just brings flavor. And so I always over season my veggies. Why? Because I'm putting a big thing. I've got 2 cups of quinoa in here. So it's going to take away from the seasoning. So you want to make sure you put enough seasoning in there. Then I'm also going to be using the Mrs. Dash garlic and herb. Just going to get a heavy amount of that in there. And then I love my smoked paprika. It just gives it that smoky taste. Okay, and if you want to put a little salt in there, you can. It just depends on, once I get my rice in here with my quinoa, what the taste is. If I need more seasoning at that time, I will put more seasoning in, but I don't want to over season. So I just usually wait till everything comes together. But if you can see down in here, all those seasonings on there, it's really married into the veggies. And all I'm going to do is just cook this for a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to throw in my quinoa and let that kind of roast in here without adding water. I just kind of like to let my quinoa cook without water on it for a couple of minutes, just to give it that roasted feel to the quinoa. Just going to let this go here for a second. Like I said, this is really easy, and this is a great dish if you just want the quinoa on the side as a side dish. I always like to dress up my quinoa. So you can put some kale in here. If you don't want to do the peppers, you can do some kale with your mushrooms. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, that just really makes the quinoa taste so good. My husband loves quinoa. He can just eat this by itself without any side dish or being in, you know, without anything with it. He can just eat that as his main dish. So we're going to get that going. And then once we get our quinoa done, then I'm going to go ahead and put in our meatballs. Show you how to do those. I like to brown them and then get them in the oven. Let them cook good in the oven. And like I said, then we'll go to rolling. And my rice is done. So we just got to wait on our quinoa. Okay, so this is about 2 cups of quinoa. I've rinsed it off, and I'm just going to go ahead and dump that down in here. And I just usually just mix that in real good and just kind of let that cook for a few minutes. And then when I cook it, all you do is add your water to right above the quinoa. You don't want too much, but you want it to cover the quinoa completely. And then bring it to a good boil. Once it's boiling real good, you want to turn it down and let it simmer. And then that'll kind of cook all the water off of it. And then all you left with is just the quinoa and vegetables and the flavor. And that's why I said you want to over season your veggies, because once you put all your quinoa in here and it starts to fluff up, you know, you don't want it to be bland. So, you know, just definitely season to your own likings. But me, I like my food to be really seasoned well and to have flavor. So, but this is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to let this sit like this and cook just for a couple of minutes. It's just kind of browning the quinoa. I don't know why. I think it just cooks better that way to me. And then I'm going to add my water. Then once we add our water, we'll turn it up and let it boil. And then it'll cook down. And then it'll fluff up and it'll be ready to be used to stuff our, or to roll our cabbage. And I'm also mixing rice in here too. So, you know, that's going to be real thick, because I'm going to put my rice in here once this is done and just mix it all together. But my rice has already been pre-seasoned. So, but yeah. I'm just gonna let this go for a couple of minutes, then we're gonna get our water in there and put a lid on it, and we're gonna let it boil. All right, so this is toasted up. We let this cook for a couple of minutes here. So now we're gonna add our water, but one thing I like to put in there that I didn't show you guys, I like to use some liquid aminos. This is like a soy sauce replacement. And I used to use the Bragg's liquid aminos, but this is the coconut aminos. So I'm going to just do a little bit of this in here. Just gives it a little extra flavor. And it's coming out slow, so I'm not really using that much. And this was a brand new bottle, so just maybe that's how much I use. Okay, that's just going to kind of add some extra flavor. And then we're going to get our water in here. And like I said, we just want to basically cover our quinoa. You don't want to put too much water, because then it'll cook down and be mushy, too mushy. We still want it to have some sort of texture to it. So just kind of mix all this in real good. And then at this point, once it's down in there, you can turn it up a little bit. Mine is on medium high. Put your lid on it and let it come to a good boil. Let it boil for about 5 minutes, and then just turn it down to your low and let it simmer, and it'll fluff and continue to cook, and that water will evaporate out. So we'll let that sit. That's all you do. All right, so while our quinoa is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and get our sausage on. Again, these are our meatballs, sorry. These are the plant-based meatballs. Again, they're pure Farmland. They are Italian style, so they've already got some seasoning in here with a dairy-free Parmesan. So I'm not gonna season these anymore. Sometimes I do, but I'm gonna go ahead and get these in here. And the only reason I'm browning these, I got them in some grapeseed oil on medium. I just want to brown them on each side, and then what I'll do is I'll place them in the oven to let them cook. So I just put them in the skillet because I like to get a little char, a little brown on them. So that way I can roll them while they're in the on the stove here. Then I'll just pour just a tad bit of water on them, about like that, in my pan, and I'll put them in the oven and let them cook the rest of the way. So yeah, so just get them down in there, and then just kind of, as they brown, roll them. Don't want it up too high. Roll them around just on each side, and then, like I said, I filled the pot up with about that much liquid. You can use broth if you want to use broth, or you can use water and just fill them up and then stick them in the oven and let them bake for another 15 minutes on like 350. That way they'll get good and done on the inside. But this step is basically just to brown. So that's all we're going to do with that. And then once we get them brown, we'll toss them in the oven. So, easy, easy. Alright guys, so you can see they browned pretty much how I wanted them to. I'm not trying to overcook them. And I'm just going to use some vegetable stock. Like I said, you can use water. I'm just going to coat the bottom of it just a little bit so they won't grab in the oven. And I'm just going to place these in the oven for about another 15 minutes on 350 and just let them continue to cook from there. And that's all you do with those. And let's see what our quinoa is over here doing. So you see how we wanted it to come to a good boil? That's what I was talking about. It's cooking down the water. So now what we want to do is turn it down. Since it's a good boil going, turn it down, keep it covered, and let it continue to evaporate that water out, and our quinoa will be pretty much done. That's all you do. Simple and easy. Alright guys, I wanted to give y'all a close-up. I've mixed the rice in here with the quinoa. You see the texture of it. You can see the peppers. You can see the onions. You can see the mushrooms. You can see the sun-dried tomatoes. This is how the consistency should be. It's not overcooked. You can still see the round quinoa balls. So definitely a good consistency here. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to go ahead and stuff or roll our cabbage in this. And we're going to top it with our plant-based Bolognese sauce. All right, so let's get started on the rolling process. All right, guys, so here we go to roll these. It's gonna be fun. So I have my cabbage. You see it's really not stiff. So all we do is lay our cabbage here. Take a nice scoop of our mixture. Get that down in there. If you want it to be creative, you could put some cheese down in there, which I'm not. I'm going to probably sprinkle a little bit of mozzarella on top. And then all you want to do is just roll these over as such. And we're just going to do this and get through all of our leaves. Take a nice scoop of our mixture. And there's no right or wrong way to roll these. So just however, because to be honest with you, some of my leaves were not all the way, they broke. And that's okay. Just get it to where you can get that down in there. Kind of flip the ends in a little bit. I'm saying it, but I know you can't see me doing it. And voila. So we're going to do this. When I was cutting my cabbage, just when you're cutting it, what you can do, which I may do next time, but I knew I wasn't going to use all of this, you could take it and set your whole cabbage head down in your water to let it boil a little bit, and then it'll peel better. But if not, when you're taking the first few layers off, they usually come off okay. But as you get closer to the bottom, you see how tight this layer is? If you cut it at the thick piece of it, right there, cut it there and lift up from that end, usually you'll get your whole leaf without breaking it. So just a little trick. Learned that along the way. So then, like, here's a piece, like I said, it's not the whole piece, and that's okay. It's big enough to where we can still roll it. That's why I said there's no right or wrong way to roll these. Let's just get that in here. Try to get them as uniform as possible though, but when you're eating them, you're not even going to know. But the mixture, make sure your mixture, like I said, when we were cooking our rice and our quinoa and we seasoned it, if you needed more seasoning, now would be the time to get that seasoning in here, because we want to make sure that it's good and seasoned before we roll, not after we roll. Now this one here, that was a little smaller, so you just take another piece that was a little small piece and you can fix it and roll it a little bit better, because this one's a little bit funny shape. So I'm going to take that. That way I can get it rolled over even tighter. Okay, this one didn't work out so well, so I'm going to scoop that back and I'm going to start over, because it came out of the side. So I'll do that one in a minute. They'll be last. We'll do this one. Okay. See, I be keeping it real, y'all. We learn as we go. Okay. All right, so here's another one. So we're getting these rolled up. I will come back once I'm done rolling all of these, because I'm going to put, like I said, I'm going to smother them in some sauce. Maybe put a little bit of mozzarella cheese, vegan mozzarella cheese on top. Put them in the oven and let them bake for a few minutes, maybe about 20 to 30 minutes in the oven. And then we'll have our meatballs. So that's what we're going to do with that. I wanted to show you my meatballs, but let me make sure it's cooled off, because it's cooled off now. So these are what our meatballs look like. But guys, this was the pot I stuck in the oven. I took the pot out and set it on the stove, turned around to get my spatula, was talking to my husband and my daughter, turned back around and touched the handle. Oh my gosh, you're talking about it just burned so bad. But I was like, Lord Jesus, help me. And so sprayed a little bit of my burn spray on there, and it's not even burning now. It was just literally maybe 10 minutes ago. But these are our meatballs. So I'm going to put these in some sauce as well. So they're done. And just wanted to show you those. And once I get done rolling these, I'm going to sauce these and get those in the oven. Then we'll come back and let you see what it looks like, okay? Thank you. Alright guys, so we have pretty much rolled them. That's what they look like after I've rolled them. And I'm going to add some sauce to this. Use this spoon here. That's all. That's so good. Okay. Just going to just kind of smother them in some sauce. Now this is a thick sauce. The plant-based Bolognese. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's really a thick sauce. So if you're not into thick, you can just use a regular tomato sauce to smother those in. But this is so good. I love this sauce. It's got so much flavor. I just want to get all these covered here. This is going to be delicious. Okay. Alright. We got that covered. And then we're just going to top it with a little bit of vegan cheese, mozzarella cheese. And I'm using the Daya brand. It's fine. I'm more of a follow your heart brand girl. But Sprouts has been out. Or the Yokos. I like that brand too. This is not bad, but if I had a preference, I would go with the Follow Your Heart over the Daya. But I'm gonna just smother this with some cheese, and this is optional. You know, if you don't want cheese on it, you don't have to put cheese on that. It's still gonna be just as good without the cheese. So, this is what it looks like. We're gonna get this in the oven for about 30 minutes on 350, just to let those cabbage get more tender, because we just softened them up. So to cook the cabbage really well. Get this in the oven, and then once this is done, we'll start to plate up and let you guys see what it tastes like. Alright guys, so here you have it. We are done. We have our stuffed or cabbage, rolled cabbage. And we have our meatballs. What I did, I put them in some of the Bolognese sauce as well. And here is a dish that we have with the meatballs and the cabbage rolls. So, looks delicious. Hopefully it tastes delicious. So, we're going to have someone come and help me. Of course, no one other than my fabulous husband, Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Can I have you assist me, please?
You sure can. My favorite time, y'all.
All right. So he's going to come over here. And we have the stuffed cabbage. What I did, I topped it with a little bit of mozzarella cheese and baked it in the oven for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And then we have our meatballs, and they're in the Bolognese sauce as well. So, I was going to have you do a taste test for me.
My pleasure. Let's see what we got here, y'all. This is all new. Except I did have the meatballs once before. The meatballs, I know they're going to be great.
And the cabbage, of course, is stuffed with quinoa and wild rice blend with my own little twist on the flavor. And like I said, just topped with some sauce and some mozzarella cheese.
To be honest with you, I'm going to tell y'all, the cabbage roll tastes better than the meatballs.
See, cabbage rolls are good. Meatballs are optional.
I'm gonna tell you, with the quinoa, you know, the sun-dried tomatoes, the green peppers, and onions, and the mushrooms, and all that fabulous season that you be putting in there. Good God Almighty! I'm telling y'all, these cabbage rolls are off the chain. I'm serious. For me, it tastes better than the meatballs, y'all. And I love these meatballs, but this thing right here, this cabbage roll, y'all, with this vegan mozzarella cheese and this sauce on it, I'm telling you, it's thebomb.com for real. So y'all definitely have got to try this. It's really good. Really
it is, and it's really
I'm
hard.
surprised, really am.
I was gonna let you guys see. I don't know if you can see this, but I'll try to come up just a little bit closer, so you can kind of get a real good close up of the inside.
It actually looks like meat.
It's just really, the
meat.
texture in there is amazing. It's thick, it's hearty.
Yes, really good, y'all.
It's delicious. So you say it's that good. You putting it out there like it.
I'm serious. Taste it. I really am surprised. I mean, it tastes better than the meatballs.
You surprised?
Well, I knew it was gonna be good.
Yeah. The meatballs, like I said, was
the
just
quinoa,
optional.
I love quinoa anyway, y'all. It's high alkaline. It's really good.
I love cabbage. And I love
it really helps your digestive system and everything. It's really good. Good for you. Really good, ain't it? It's I'm telling you, it's off the chain. I mean, it's like meat. It really tastes like meat rolled inside the cabbage, like a. I want to say like a chili texture. Is what it's like. It's like a chili texture, you know, rolled inside of a cabbage leaf, you know. But it's really good, y'all. Really is. I didn't think it was gonna come out this good, but it's really good with that mozzarella cheese and the sauce on top of it. Tell you,
this is really good.
it's absolutely amazing.
So yes, guys. So definitely give it a try. Just quinoa stuffed cabbage. Really easy to make, simple and easy and delicious. You know it's good when he can't stop. When he keeps going and going with the eating.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good. So
it's really amazing. It's really good.
So
you know she's a great cook anyway.
Aw, thank you.
But since we went on this clean eating deal right here, man, some of the meals I'll be like, you know, hey, I don't know about that. But be honest, y'all, everything that this lady, my wife here, my beautiful wife, has prepared has really been simply amazing. All this food that she's preparing is really good, you know, for me, because I experienced, you know, different things, you know, in eating all these different foods. So, honey, I'm so proud of you, of what you're doing.
Thank you.
The food and everything that you have been preparing is just the real deal Holyfield, y'all. This, you know, what she's telling you is real.
Aww.
And it's simply amazing. This food is really good. I mean, it's good. I mean,
okay,
I don't know no other way to explain it. It's really good.
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel good.
It's really good.
I wasn't expecting that one, but okay, thank you.
Great job. Job well done, sweetheart.
They say the way to a man's
done.
heart is through his tummy.
You know
so,
it.
I'm glad that I'm able to, you know, cook and still satisfy. Because I used to cook all type of foods, and you know, from all his foods he loved, and then when we transitioned.
Right. When she said vegan, I'm looking like. Nah, I still got to have my chicken. I still got to have this, you know. But this has been really, really a great trip for me, you know, this, you know, change of diet or what have you, because I didn't think I could ever do it, but she makes it so easy for me, you know, to do this now. I mean, it's really been a blessing to me, and I'm grateful. Really, I'm grateful.
Oh, he's gonna make me cry. But anyway, that makes me feel really good, and I'm so happy that, you know, my family enjoys the cooking. You know, like I said, it's not easy for people to transition, and so when I get these creative ideas, I come in here and I cook, and he enjoys it. It makes me feel good.
Right.
And you know, if I don't get it right, I just start over and try it a different way. So don't give up. If it's something.
I'm telling y'all the truth. She knows that I will let y'all know that, hey, if it ain't right, I'm going to tell you, look, baby, this is nasty. You know, we need to do this some other kind of way, but...
Y'all see how I be looking at him when he gets talking, I be like, oh, Lord, what's going to come out of his mouth?
Everything that she really has cooked has really been amazing, really tasteful, really good, you know, for me. So, great job again, love.
Well, thank you. So you guys heard it from him. He's my biggest fan, and he be my worstest critic. So I trust his opinion, and, you know, like I said, I enjoy it. I know that you guys can enjoy it. So if you try this recipe and you like it, let me know.
Try it.
And then, of course, if you really like it, give me a thumbs up.
Give me a thumbs up.
And then share this video, you know, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed.
Yes.
But I just want to thank you for just, you know, coming into Cassandra's kitchen and cooking with me and, you know, being here with me through this journey. It means a lot. And I really want to thank you. And so from my kitchen to yours, we love you and we pray that you be blessed. And until next time, bye-bye now.